Okay guys, I just want to do another quick share in relation to OptimizePress and basically how you use CSS code to actually create this look and feel here, whereby you're using a fixed image and you build out your elements above it. So the image stays static, and as you scroll at your website, the text moves until you move on to the next row. Let's jump straight into it. So here is the code. Let me just put this on to make it a bit easier to see. Now the code starts right here from that / Paralax 2 right the way down to there. I will copy this code under the video so it's there for you to use. I have also popped in here basically it's sort of guidance / instructions that in here where it starts URL and then you've got your open brackets, in here you will type the long URL address for the image that you're wanting to use as your static image for this particular row. Now at the end of the video I will actually jump into Media Library and show you where you actually scoop up the large URL address for an image you may want to use. So other things to say about this before we jump into using it. The code that I'm sharing starts at row 1. Now you can have multiple static images on any web page. All it means that you need to do is copy and paste the code and change the row number for where you actually want the static image to appear. So if you want more than one static image, basically you'll drop the code into 2 separate boxes assigning different row numbers, and you may or may not be choosing to use the same image or another image, but you can have more than one. Basically you can create to your heart's content. So I will just get rid of the sort of narrative instructions here. Let's get rid of that, and this is the image I'm just going to use for demonstration purposes. Making sure I'm popping it in here between the 2 brackets and making sure I've got the full address here, yes, website name, name of the image, PNG, and I've still kept the brackets. Right, so we scoop up the full code. Now what we've got here is a blank OptimizePress page. Now there are multiple ways to actually insert an image in OptimizePress. One of the things that you might want to do here is right at the top of the header row, you might want to come down here, select an image from your image library and then say where you want to see it. And again you can put elements and images and anything over the top of that, but the image isn't static. Or you can go into add an element and basically add an image anywhere in your row on your page. But in this demonstration what we're looking at is the fixed image. So to do this we go into page settings in OptimizePress. You want to go into other scripts. Now I'm going to avoid using the header box here because it is likely that you have other scripts and codes in there. Also it shows you that you can just wanting to add new fresh CSS code or save it, add new, and then select the type of code that you're using. We're using custom CSS for this. And we're going to drop it in here. Drop it in, go down to the bottom and then just go update. Now as you can see we can't see anything yet on the page. Now I'll show you what it looks like on public view. Now because we haven't built out the row, you can only just see some default pixels there. So let's jump back into here. So if you had multiple rows and you wanted to have another fixed image and assigned to another row that you've built out, you would just add new, CSS custom, drop your code in here and change the row number. And even the address for the image depending on whether you're using the same image or not. So let's just build out this row so we can just for demonstration purpose so you can actually see what it looks like. Put some vertical in here. Let's make it small. add an element. Let's go for a featured image box. Now, because I want to see the background underneath it, I like using transparency boxes. Now, you really creative types can make your websites look really fancy and sexy and build them out to your heart's content. I'm just basically dropping in here some random code, some text even, so you can actually see how easy it is to build out a row, and also gives you a look and feel for what the static image looks like as you build it. And let's see if this does it. There you go. I knew it was going to do that. For some rhyme or reason, every time I press, or periodically when I press the center button, because I wanted to center the text, it doesn't want to play ball, but I don't let that bother me. I just do as much as I can and insert it. I then go back into that element, find the top of the text, and 9 times out of 10 it always works a second time like it did then. Awesome. So that's another element. Let's add a vertical space. I don't know, let's make this a bit bigger. So this is not to make it look pretty, this is just to give you the feel for the flowing image. Let's make it even bigger than that. Let's see what this looks like. Let's go update. And then let's just add a row. Add a quick element. Let's add a headline. Creatively titled row number 2. So as you can see, if there's more text, that scrolling look would be a bit more dramatic. And it is even more so when you have the row in between other rows. Now, if I haven't already mentioned this, the one thing to be mindful of, as you're building out and adding additional rows and potentially changing the look and feel of a page, you may find yourself adding a row before or after a static image row, or deleting a row, etc., etc. You just need to be mindful of to go back into your page and count the number of rows, find the address, the row that you now want to have your static image, go back into page settings, find the row that you did have previously and just change the address here. Just something to be mindful of as you sort of chop and change content on a web page. You have put that in as a fixed code, so the image will stay on that row number regardless of whatever else that you've moved around. So you may find the image sitting below a completely different element and it might surprise you, so I thought that's worth mentioning. So as promised at the beginning, I'd say I just very quickly scoop into the media library to show you where you scoop up the full address. Now, it doesn't matter which image I'm using here, let's just use this one for demonstration purposes. Let's go into it. So the full file image URL is here, and this is the one that you need to fully scoop up, including the HTTP and the / and all of that, right the way to the end where you're picking up the PNG. That is what you want to scoop up. Drop it into a notepad and then insert it into the CSS code. Hope that's useful for you guys, and you're going to go away and be super creative. Bye for now.